Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Diana here from Garden Love. I'm super excited to take you along with me to GreenThumb Nursery. It's been a while since our last garden adventure, and today I'm actually looking for a tree to complete my hillside garden with the dirt lockers. I'm not exactly sure what I came here for. Usually I do my research and I know exactly what I'm going for, but today we were driving by and I decided to stop. I'm not sure if I'm gonna walk out with anything today, but I'm definitely going to explore my options and gather ideas in order for me to complete my hillside garden. I'm looking for something that's going to provide a fruit or a citrus, something that's unique and rare that you normally cannot buy in the stores. And I just love coming up with that fruit to show your guests and show them that, like, hey, try this out. This is something rare, and tell them a little history about the plant. But look at this place. Isn't it breathtaking? I love walking into the nurseries and explore all the different plants, roses, succulents, and just get ideas for different parts of my property. And you guys know that I dabble a little bit in everything, but my main focus, my obsession is fruit trees. They have a great selection at this GreenThumb nursery that's in Santa Clarita. I want to go explore all of the ones in Southern California. If you guys have any recommendations for any nurseries in Southern California, please let me know, because I am truly going to make it my goal to go explore different nurseries and share with you guys. But this one, I highly recommend it. Mike's in charge of ordering all the fruit trees here, and he does an amazing job. You're going to meet him a little further in the video, and you guys are gonna get to know him a little bit, and he's gonna talk to us about Laura Bay and the different options that you have to buy a Laura Bay. I usually go on these adventures by myself, but today my husband happens to be with me. He's going to be behind the camera, which I think is a great idea because it will help me just explore and talk to you guys a little bit more freely. And look at this amazing grapefruit. Honestly, if I didn't already had a ton of fruit trees that I need to install in my garden, I would be loading up my car. They have such a great selection here, and there's so many good quality trees. I wish I could take them all. Since I'm always talking about this loquat tree, my husband got curious and he has some questions.
So what are we looking at right here?
So everybody knows that I love this loquat tree, and I'm always looking for different varieties. The prices have definitely gone up since a few years ago. This one's $85. This is crazy. It's really expensive, but in my opinion, if you really want one, it's totally worth it. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Oh wait, I forgot something.
What is it about the loquat that makes it your favorite?
Well, Hispanics, or I guess since I'm from Mexico, this is a very popular tree for Mexicans, and I grew up eating it in Mexico. And when I came here to the US, they were very hard to find, and when I finally found them, I became obsessed with them just because the fruit is delicious. And sometimes I struggle with my stomach, and this fruit helps you with your digestive system. So for that reason, I absolutely love it.
So aside from like the health benefits, it reminds you of where you're from.
Yes, it reminds me from where I'm from. It's also an evergreen, which means that if you want to have it in your landscape, you're going to have green leaves year round. So it adds a pretty feature to your landscape. And yeah, a lot of people here in the US actually don't know that this is an edible fruit tree. They think it's just an ornamental. So they're like, oh, it's just a pretty tree. And my uncle, who passed away now, he was like my father. He actually used to use these leaves to, he was diabetic. So he would use these leaves and make a tea out of them every morning. And he lived with diabetes for a long time. And he attributes that to these leaves. So maybe that's another attachment that I have with this tree.
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. But let's see if there's different varieties over here. I don't know. I haven't heard of this one. How do you pronounce that? Aerial bow tree?
Yeah.
Aerial bow tree. I haven't heard of that variety. But this is actually a pretty tree. I like the shape of it. Especially if you want something shorter and something to fill up a space, like a void, like something. But I wouldn't take this tree for this reason. I just noticed there's damage on the trunk. You see that damage? Mm-hmm. Which means that over the years, this tree is just going to take time to recover from this damage. And yeah, you don't want to take a tree home that's compromised like this. Let me remove it to help it heal. See that? Maybe a branch broke off and it's healing. Probably would put some IV organic product on here so no insects go in there and start eating the tree from the inside out. But I really love the shape. But I want to show you guys something else. These are actually two, and it's funny that they're together because these are two rare trees that I believe not a lot of people know about them. This tree is used in India. It's actually called a kaffir lime. The limes look like a little brain. I've showed you before, right? And they actually grow this tree for the leaves because the leaves have a lot of medicinal properties in it. And I usually take these and actually put it in my rice just to get the medicinal properties from it and just cook with them. But they use them for teas, and they're supposed to be really good for your oral, for your mouth. They chew on them and they help with your teeth and your breath. So this is a really, oral hygiene. So this is a really cool tree to have if you are into collecting rare trees.
Is this a big tree or does this stay small?
I think it can grow pretty tall, but you can just train it by trimming the top, like topping it off so it can get wider instead of taller. And I have one in my garden, and it hasn't grown that much. So as far as the height.
Trees too that you could do like aspalair.
Yeah, this would actually be a great tree to grow at aspalair. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term aspalair, it's just a technique that gardeners use to grow things as in a trellis in case you're limited in space, and for maybe a focal point in your garden. This would be actually a great tree for that. Oh, I wish you can smell this. It smells delicious. And you can see that there's actually flowers coming here, so this tree's gonna fruit. This tree comes with the beautiful price of $160. It looks like it's a few years old, so you can tell by how thick the trunk is.
Like a $60 to $70 tree.
That's what the prices used to be 2 years ago. Right before COVID, the prices were a lot more feasible. Everything has gone up, in my opinion. I mean, you guys can go back and look at my old videos and look at the prices. I was always shopping, and they were like $25, $35. If you wanted something in a 15-gallon like this, you would probably pay $65. So now it's more than double the price. But you could tell this tree is maybe like 3 years old. Actually, the tag's right here. It got grafted in 2021. So how old is that?
4 years.
4 years old. So yeah, the kaffir limes do tend to grow. Not kaffir limes. Wait, it is kaffir limes. Sorry, my brain. They do tend to grow slower, and that would probably explain why the trunk is not as thick as other ones. But yeah, highly recommend this tree if you're into medicinal purposes and growing unique things. Here's the next one. I don't know if you guys have seen my latest video. Yeah, take a look at that. You can tell it's a kaffir lime by the way the leaves are. There's
like a double leaf.
Yeah, double leaf. Spine. Exactly. So yeah, it's pretty unique.
That's pretty unique.
Yeah.
That's extremely unique.
Look at that, and there's baby flowers coming out. And there's some here. So when you do buy a tree, you're going to want to look for any signs of any pests if you do end up taking this tree, I would highly recommend you take those off before you take them home so they don't infect the rest of your garden. So do a little quick inspection before you take anything home. The
You
next,
were saying about this?
yes, I actually love the way this is being trained to grow because it looks like an umbrella. I don't know if you can tell. The trunk is up and everything's coming kind of like a weeping tree. And I really love the look to this. And in case you guys are not familiar with this tree, it is called an Australia finger lime. They do grow this in Australia. It's a very popular tree out there. And I'm not sure how long it's been here in the US, probably a long time, but it's not a very common tree that most gardeners grow. This is another unique tree. As you can see here in the picture, I mean, it's going to be easier for you to look at the picture than for me to describe it. This is the lime, and inside of it, what is that called? Caviar eggs? Mm-hmm. It looks like caviar eggs in there. Every little grain is citrusy and lemony, but I have 3 of these. 2 are in a pot, and 1 we just recently planted in the ground. Joe, you helped me remember that. You helped me plant that tree. And the only thing about this tree that I will say that it does have thorns. So just be very careful with this tree. They're kind of flexible, but they do poke. But it's another unique tree that you can add to your landscape if you're doing both, like creating an ornamental and edible, actually an edible garden. But this is definitely a very, very pretty tree. This would be a little bit harder to do aspalair just because of the thorns. You're going to have to constantly train the branches, and it would just be a little difficult to get in there. You're going to have to find something that's growing in a shape that you like this tree. I love how tall the trunk is and how everything's sweeping down. It looks like a little umbrella. So this would be something I would be looking for when it comes to this tree specifically, especially because this finger line tends to get wider, and just having a nice trunk to it would be something I would be looking for if I was in the market for another one. The ones I bought were actually from, I was surprised Costco had it, and it was at a very reasonable price, so I had to snatch it no matter what shape it had. But if you are in the market, I would suggest to find something with a taller trunk, just so it's easier access and it's off the floor and it's a little bit less maintenance, because you're not going to have to be trimming the things off the ground once you put it in there, unless you also want to put it in a pot. Then at that point, if you have something bushier, it would be fine as well. But yeah, these are 2 trees that I highly recommend for someone who wants something unique and pretty to look at. Let's go. Their lime. More blood. Oh, come here. If you find a much smaller finger lime, this is what you're going to end up with. And the selection they have here is actually pretty good. They're all being trained to be kind of with a taller trunk. The ones I have at home are unfortunately have this graft section lower, so it's more like a bush than a tree. And I really like the way this looks. How cute is that? You can tell that they already trim them so it can branch out instead of it having just a few long branches. But yeah, they have a good selection here. So if you guys are ever near a GreenThumb, they usually do have a good selection of trees, especially fruit trees, which is my obsession. And that's why I like coming here sometimes, just to look around and see if there's any new varieties, or sometimes just to see if there's any trees that look like the shape. Sometimes the shape of the trees is what intrigues me into getting them. And here are some baby kaffir limes. These are cute too. Let me see, how much are those? The smaller ones. $59, $60. Yeah, look, it's looking like all fruit trees for this 5-gallon. For these 5-gallon containers are 60, so they've doubled over the last few years. I guess more people are interested in growing their own fruits, which I don't blame them. Yeah, these are 60. But I do recommend that you guys come to a nursery, and let me tell you why. Because sometimes when you're at a nursery, they have trees from the previous years, and they're still in the 5-gallon container, which means that you're going to get a much more mature tree than a brand new. Like, you could tell this one's a brand new tree. You could tell that they grafted this to this, obviously. You could tell that the trunk is still green, so it hasn't matured. It's a brand new tree. See that? This is a brand new tree. So, I mean, it's still going to do well, but if you can get a little bit more mature tree, that means that it's going to be a little nicer. Look at this. This is still a very nice tree. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, and they have a good selection of stone fruit tree as well. Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good. How about you?
Good, good.
Good.
I wanted to ask you a question.
Sure.
This is Mike from GreenThumb Nursery. He's the one, you order all the plants, right? You're in charge of maintaining this beautiful garden. I posted a video about growing Laura Bay leaves, and I purchased them from here before. And a lot of people are like, I don't know how to find it. Where do I find it? What do I ask for? And I suggest that they go, if they could find a GreenThumb Nursery, and to ask someone, for the edible one. And if you don't have it, you usually can order it. And so what should they be looking for or asking for?
Just bay leaf.
Bay leaf?
Bay leaf. The botanical name would be Laurus nobilis, which is your common bay leaf.
Okay.
Monrovia growers came out with one that's also edible. They call it little ragu.
Okay.
So it doesn't grow as big as a regular bay leaf.
Okay.
But Monrovia sells nationwide, so they'll even be able to find that variety too.
Okay.
At any nursery, actually.
Okay. Okay. So if they wanted to grow it in a pot, Monrovia would probably be the way to go. And if they wanted to grow a hedge,
then you would do the Laurus nobilis. That's the botanical name.
Oh, okay.
Of bay leaf. So
do you guys have any here right now?
I actually do.
Let's see. Let's see if we can find this Laura Bay everybody's been asking for. Because I got mine from here a few years ago. Ooh, I think I see it. Is that it?
That's one of them in a big size.
Wow, okay.
And then this is your little ragu.
Okay. That's the ragu which we spoke about to do it in a pot. Mm-hmm. And this is edible. So people
it is edible.
Okay, so you can cook with it.
And then I even carry them in the smaller sizes, which is the Laurus
nobilis. It hasn't gone up in price that much, which is nice. Perfect.
And then I even do the little ragu and patio trees.
Oh, those are beautiful. Yes, like a little umbrella.
Right.
Love it. Okay. Well, thank you, because a lot of people were like, they don't have them at my store. And I'm like, just go ask the person who's in charge of ordering the plants. Yeah. So, how much?
Depends on the area that they're going to, too.
Yeah.
So, it depends on where they live. So,
I
don't know. I mean, how many followers you have? If they're all over different states.
There are all over, yeah.
Yeah, they may not have them right away because of the cold temperatures, but if you live out here in Southern California, you should be able to find them year-round.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Well, thank you. How are you, Mike?
Good.
I haven't seen you in a while.
Well, you haven't been coming in, or have you?
I know, I haven't. No, I haven't. I have
holding off on your spending?
Yes, and we have a lot of trees we haven't planted. They're just sitting in pots. We just haven't had the time to put them in the ground. But I'm starting another little container gardening section in my property.
For fruits?
For fruits. So just the ones that thrive, I'm going to like focus on those.
Well, I do have some newer, I'm out of one of them. I'm carrying a brand new nectarine this year.
Okay.
They call Freckle Face nectarine. And then I'm also carrying a new apricot, which is an Armenian type white apricot.
Okay.
Which is one that should be able to tell our chilling hours.
Oh.
I sold out of those already, but I won't get any more until next year. But I had to carry the Freckle Face if you want to try anything new.
Okay, and those are ideal for containers?
Yeah, you just stay on top of your pruning.
Yeah.
You know, your summer pruning.
Keep it manageable. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I would love to see them. But what were they called?
Freckle Face.
Freckle Face.
It's actually a brand new one that was just introduced to me this year. Well, I should say last year, but they made them available this year. And I talked to Dave Wilson Nursery about it. And they said, yeah, it's a perfect one for low chill. Same thing with the Armenian, the apricot. They may have a high chill factor on them, but he says they're perfect for a low chilled area.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so a lot of the trees that I had, they've been going in the ground. But I've noticed that a lot of the trees that were in containers were doing a lot better in containers than in the ground.
It depends on your soil.
Yeah.
What I've learned over the years is the pH in your soil on a lot of these fruit trees, where if you're growing fruit trees in the ground and you're feeding them, and you're not getting results of the fertilizer that you're using, that usually means because your pH is too high.
Okay.
And I always tell folks, instead of you, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars testing your soil, it's best to feed your plants. And if you don't see any results, then I have a product that you could go around doing the soil treatment that will bring your pH back down to neutral. And it's organic.
Okay.
But you do it in the summertime so you get quicker results. So if you have trees in the ground that are struggling, you're feeding the dickens out of them, and nothing's happening, then I tell people to uncover some of the roots of the trees.
Okay.
Throw this mulch down, 2 to 3 inches, water it in, and watch. In summer, 6 weeks, boom, they start taking it.
Okay. Because I have 2 Mexican key limes that were doing fantastic in containers, and they've been in the ground for almost 2 years, and the fruit is just not coming in like it was in a container. But that is one of the trees that I highly recommend to put in a container, because they thrive in there. Yeah.
So if you have it in the ground, have you been feeding it regularly and you're just not getting any results? You moved recently.
Yeah,
right?
I moved.
So that's part of it, is like maybe the soil that's in the ground. I would try, not now, but just uncover some of the roots, right? Well, what I would do is uncover some of the roots now, just to get some air to it. And then what I would do, as soon as it starts getting hot, get this product called Garden Max.
Okay.
Throw 2 to 3 inches of that on top, water it in. It's like steroids.
Really?
In 6 weeks, you'll see that plant take off.
Okay. Okay. So what's the name?
I'll show you the Freckle Face.
Freckle Face?
Nectarine, but those are all peaches. So that's your Freckle Face. It doesn't have a picture on it, but it's still fairly new. But that's it right here. It's a late July ripening.
Oh.
If you want to add it to your mix.
Oh, I thought I heard him say my name. So I'm going to take a picture of this so I know what I'm looking for.
It's a big family up here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this would be recommended for
out here areas.
In containers. They would do well as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all you do is just stay on top of your summer pruning after you harvest the fruit.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, Mike. It was nice seeing you.
It's
Appreciate
always a
it.
pleasure.
Yes, we'll be.
Hopefully I see you more often.
Yes.
You used to come in every week.
I know. This was my therapy. It was my therapy for sure.
When I got my fruit trees in there you were.
I know. It's been a minute. It's just I have so many trees that I need to get in the ground. I'm like, I can't add another one to the drip system.
I bet you if I come to your house, I'll find a place for another fruit tree. I was just talking to a customer.
I have the place.
I bet you I could find more spaces.
I have place, but I haven't physically put them in. So I need the labor.
Okay, sir. They're calling your name.
Yeah, but no, he works all the time, so yeah, our schedule's tight, so
Well, it's great
we'll
seeing you
find.
both. All
Yeah,
right, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Mike.
Thank you.
Bye. It was really nice to see Mike here because I used to see him all the time when I would come and explore the nursery and get ideas and get all my new trees. I mean, come on, I had no, let me go back. One moving truck and about three pickup trucks full of plants when I moved from my old property to this new property. So you could just imagine how often I used to be in Green Thumb Nursery. Gardening has always been my therapy per se. It's been my getaway, and I hope that this video has inspired you to go get yourself a fruit tree or start gardening. Just don't add too much pressure on yourself when you are trying to do what you had planned out to do and you don't necessarily hit the mark. Trust me, it is not worth it. Gardening is meant for you to relax, to enjoy the moment, and enjoy what you put into your garden. This year, I haven't started growing any seeds, which by the time of the year that we are in, I think I'm just going to have to buy the seedlings, and that is totally okay. I am not going to stress out about trying to hit the mark for everything in the garden. I am going to do what I can, and what I cannot do, I'm going to give myself a little grace, and it's okay. It's okay. There will be another growing season, and for now, I'm going to do what I can. I do want to have a small little garden where I can grow vegetables. In the hillside garden, I want it to be more for my rare fruit trees and just enjoy it. It is harder to maintain the hillside, and for that reason, I want to start another little garden where it's a lot easier to maintain. I'm going to start growing the fruit trees that I highly recommend to grow them in containers. So I'm going to have a container garden, and I am looking forward to sharing all that with you guys. I hope that I'll see you in the next video. They're very expensive. These are the Japanese, maple Japanese. 400. Yeah.
Break in here tonight and I'll take it.
They're very pretty. If you made it this far, thank you for your support. I'm on my way to another nursery, but I'm going to show you that in the next video, so stay tuned.